Okay, before we begin, every Sunday from now on, yeah, I'm gonna like the video I'm gonna put out tomorrow, and it'll be every Sunday after that. It's gonna be a little, it'll be a weekly roundup of like any prison news that I've managed to find out throughout the week. I'll give you my take on it. I'll give you the source I found out, where I've got it from. Give you a little, I'll go through the story with you, and I'll give you my take on it. It's not gonna be too serious. It's gonna be Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of fun. It's going to be a bit my take on the weekly prison news, worldly prison news, every Sunday. So the next video tomorrow will be about that. And worst things I see in prison, mate. I have literally had to write it down. I've got a list in front of me because there were so many, mate. The things you see in jail are unreal, yeah. I was going to go down the route like try to sign a city and think of injuries and assaults and things like that, yeah. But mate, I can save that for another day, man. Like literally, there was get your words out, the hospital wing at Pentonville, yeah. So I have to go there quite a lot to part. Well, one of I was the bio cleaner, yeah, cleaning up. Bio cleaner cleans up all of the um bodily fluids, yeah. You've got to be specially trained to do it. Contagious, high risk. So I did the training, and yeah, and I'll end up on there quite a lot. You can imagine why. People on there got a lot of problems. Um, yeah, I mean, they shouldn't even people like that. There shouldn't be hospital wings in jail. These people should be sent to a hospital on road, yeah, because they're technically not even prisoners. They're in a hospital. There's something wrong with them. You know what I mean? And what help are they getting in a hospital wing, being behind a door all day, and having? I've genuinely, hand on heart, I have seen screws officers winding them up as well, winding them up, like standing at the door, kicking the door, and winding them up. And these are people with pure. Listen, the majority of officers would never do that, and I'm sure the majority of officers would probably pull up them geezers for doing it. Them officers, yeah. But I've seen it happen, and I've seen it happen repeatedly. It was the same officer always winding up the patients. They were patients on the hospital wing, yeah. Always winding them up, kicking the door. Anyway, that's another story. You could so like there was one geezer down there, yeah. I never I never had to go down and do a clean up for this geezer, yeah. But he'd always it was all it was always around his wing like this the corridor. There was always cells down there that I have to go and do clean ups and he'd always be there, yeah. And like literally as you're walking down the corridor, you could start to smell his cell. You'd gag, yeah. Again, this is nothing against his geezer. He had serious mental problems, yeah. As you're walking towards his cell, like down the corridor, his door's shut, his cell door's shut, thick old metal cell door shut. The smell's coming out towards you. You'd want to put on you'd want to cover your mouth just because you was gagging, yeah. Just before you'd even got to the clean up that you had to do, which wasn't nothing to do with him. But this is how bad his smell, yeah. Right. I don't know how he did it. I don't know when he did it, yeah. On road or at some point, this geezer chopped off his own willy, yeah, chopped it off, gone, yeah. You gotta be a little bit gone up there to want to do that in the first place, didn't you? Yeah, that's what he did, right? And the disgusting thing was, he used to lay in his cell. He used to lay in his cell with his like nothing on, yeah, and he looked like an Action Man doll. He looked like an Action Man doll, smooth, yeah, smooth, mate, yeah, like a Ken doll, right? Nothing, just nothing there. And he'd get the prison blankets, yeah, like the rough prison blankets would either be green or orange or yellow, like rough, like woolen, like rough as you have to put on a sheet between you and that blanket. You couldn't sleep with that blanket on you, yeah. He used to get hold of them, yeah, and like rub it on his Action Man stump. Just rub it on there, yeah. He'd be there moving himself about on it, like face down, like, and he'd be getting off on it. He'd be getting off on it, yeah. And some people might think, well, why was you looking? It was like, do you know when you're driving past a car accident on the motorway and there's like there's a 10 mile traffic jam because everyone's rubbernecking, like hoping to get a glimpse of something that they shouldn't be able to see. Like, oh, I hope I see something. It's like that, mate. You can't help but go up to his door and go, oh my God, like, and everyone would be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm looking at matey. Like, well, stop looking. I can't. Like, mate, he'd be in there, and sometimes he'd be at his flap. Yeah, so like you got a flap. Like, and when you're in the hospital wing, sometimes they've got a big feeding hole like in the door as well, yeah, so they can just drop the tray in, yeah, give them meds or food or whatever. He'd be there watching us clean they were called shit ups, yeah, watching us clean the shit up, but. Or whatever someone had done to themselves, and he'd be there, but you see his hand going like at the door. So you know he's got the blanket, he's got the blanket, just rubbing it all over his Action Man stump. You know, that's disgusting, mate. Yeah, seeing that all the time. Yeah, again, this geezer probably shouldn't have been in jail. He should have been looked after on road. Yeah, what's he doing there? Yeah, he's not going to be getting better. He's going to be getting worse, isn't he? But anyway, numerous cleanups while I was on that bio team. Numerous. I mean, mate, too many to. There's one that always sticks out. There was a geezer down the block in Pentonville, right? He was down the block. Nothing wrong with this geezer. Just some people prefer being down the block because they sort of get everything done for them. They get their food brought to them. They get let out for a shower when they want. You know what I mean? It's sort of like they get to see a doctor when they want. They get to see a governor when they want. They're away from people. Not everyone down the block is like down there for like because he wants. They're just down there. This geezer's down there because he likes being down the block for whatever reason, and he thinks if he kicks off, he gets to stay down there. Yeah, and if he don't, because they basically want what they want when they want. Yeah, this sort of geezer, in my opinion. And when he don't get it, he acts up. He acts up like a child, like an infant. Yeah, he likes having people run around for him. And he was always smearing his poo. I'm trying to be polite, trying to put it in polite ways, yeah. You'd always smear it all around the cell, right? And what these geezers would do, yeah, you got a plastic plate and a plastic bowl, yeah, for dinner and whatever, yeah. Plastic ones, right? He used to get the plastic bowl and take a dump in it, yeah. Fill it with water, mix it up, and look. Don't forget, this geezer had no real beef with Screws or nothing. He was just doing it because he was doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you just mix it up with water. Then basically paint the cell, all four walls, ceiling and floor. Yeah, that's six. That's 6 walls, isn't it? Really? Yeah, all four, top to bottom, like he literally got a paintbrush. And the Screws would just leave him in there for like 2 weeks. And I sort of think, well, yeah, make him right. Why are they going to keep going? Like, you know what I mean? But it's stunk. Like, you can't even go down the block without it stinking. Yeah, there'd be no one down the block liking this geezer. Everyone else down the block, all the other prisoners would hate on him, yeah, for doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? Imagine you're down there and you've got to block your own cell door up because matey down there has got so much feces smell oozing out of his door that it's travelling down the corridors and creeping under your cell door. It's filth. But they would just leave him in there for 2 weeks at a time, yeah. But in a way, like, I can understand, but in another way, it's like they're not cleaning it. Prisoners are cleaning it, and that's what I can never get my head around with these people that were doing it. Yeah, and don't forget, he had no real beef. He was just doing it because he wanted something instantly and didn't get it instantly. The Screws weren't. Right, you got a problem with a Screw. They don't care. They're leaving you in there for 2 weeks, mate, rotting in it. Yeah. And once they move you to another cell and hose you down or whatever they're doing to you, are going to do to you, I go in there, prisoner. You know what I mean? I'm getting paid for it. Well, that's why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But still, like, if you've got a problem with an officer, deal with the officer. Don't paint your cell with your own feces, then let a prisoner clean it. I could never get my head around that. You've got a problem with the officer. You've done something that now a prisoner's going to have to clean up. Like, officer literally doesn't care. Yeah, when you go in there after 2 weeks, yeah, it's set like concrete, mate. It's set like concrete. I mean, you could scrape it off with a scraper, like, and it would flick everywhere like dust. You get pink eye. Imagine that goes in your eye. I see someone get pink eye from that before. Cleaning it off the seat. Listen, it's a filth way. I'm telling you how to do it. You got to spray it, yeah. You've got to spray it with like it'll be disinfectant water. Spray it, so it just leaks down the wall, yeah. And then you can wipe it with a sponge or whatever. Not with your bare hands. You're all kitted off, yeah. But you can wipe it off. Otherwise, you're flicking it off and it's going everywhere, yeah. Mate, he was cleaning it off the ceiling before, and I went to him. Listen, you got to wear a pair of goggles, mate. Well, you ain't got to. I said, wear a pair of goggles. This is the thing, yeah. Unless you're dealing with saying. And this wasn't just in prison. Basically worked for an outside company, yeah, that employed me in the prison because they were ripping me off. They were getting like £800 a call out and giving me a tenner, yeah. So I was employed by this company, trained by this company, and I was cleaning. And the way you clean is in bio is the same if you're in England, in America, in Africa, because all the symbols are the same, yeah. You need to know what the symbols are and what the codes are and the protocol is worldwide. Otherwise, you know what I mean. So you can literally go anywhere and do it. So like the rule is, and if you're only dealing with crap or something, yeah, because mainly as soon as germs hit the environment, they die, yeah. It's like all the pollution in the air, the light pollution, temperature. When someone says, oh, something could last for 48 hours, up to 48 hours on that bed, yeah, in a lab condition, in a perfect lab condition, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right atmosphere, right light, right temperature. Usually, if something hits the deck in someone's dirty cell, all the pollutants have killed it within minutes anyway. But you still got to be a bit precautious. But we all know that, yeah. You go in there knowing that you've done the course, you've done the training, you know that basically you ain't gonna get sick unless you're dealing with saying bits. But you still don't want crap in your eye, you know what I mean? Wear a pair of goggles, mate. You know what I'm saying? But it's your choice. You go in there. I used to not wear mainly not wear nothing on my face because I used to be able to like being able to breathe. Like if you've got an oxygen tank on, believe it or not, it's hard to breathe, man. And, and you feel like you're gonna pass out. If you do it properly and get all wet, nothing's gonna flick in your eye anyway. This geezer was like scraping it off like dry paint. I went, mate, put your goggles on. Ding, went in his eye. And the next day he got pink eye, mate. Pink eye of some madman's poo. But yeah. I see a geezer cut his own throat in Chelmsford, drunk on hooch, absolutely gone on hooch. He's jugular as well, arguing with Screw. Whipped out his thing, looked like it was like a blade just in a toothbrush. Serious damage he could have done to the Screw, like. But he was arguing with him, drunk as anything. Screw knew he was drunk. He just, no, actually that way, mate. That's where your jugular is. I'm not a doctor, mate. Do you have two? Do you have one? I know you got one there. He went bang, cut it, mate. Blood pissing out. He could have died. He could have killed himself for a muggy little argument. Like Screw was probably telling me he had to bang up or something, right? You know what I mean? You're drunk, bang up. Bang. And the mad thing was, even the next day, like seeing me, he had a big old thing on. It was like an Eastern European, yeah. Sweet as a nut. Sweet as a nut. Built like a tank, yeah. This geezer, but sweet as a nut. Yeah. Calm. Used to talk like, you know, softly spoken. Swished on the alcohol, mate, and cut his own throat, and could have wiped out every single Screw that was on there if he'd really wanted to, but took his anger out on himself. Cleaning up the aftermath of someone that's killed themselves, yeah. Not one of the worst things that I've ever seen, but it's eerie, like, especially when you know him. There was a geezer that was 5 cells down from me. I used to talk to him every day. It wasn't like close pals, but we could chat every day. Hello, mate, how are you? Talk about what was on the news and all that. Nothing major. This went on for months, and then he one day just killed himself, hung himself. And yeah, you're in there. You're looking at his. You're in there. You're basically cleaning everything up. You can't. You're looking at his family photos, looking at his letters. You know what I mean. You can't help but read certain things that are out and about. Listen, yeah, and we were in there. It's only prisoners that are in that cell. We're all being like, you know what I mean. So like, if you do see it, like, you might even read it. There's no Screw there. You know what I mean? But yeah, eerie, man. You're all masking it, pretending you don't really care, and those are the ones that are actually affecting more. I don't really. What you think I'm sitting there thinking about matey down the hospital ring with no Willie? You know what I mean? But sitting, like, when you think about those are the ones that give you the creeps, like, you know, because he was a sweet geezer, and then the next day he was just sweet, just gone, just hung himself, you know. Loads of that. That's an era because there's no oh, you know him, you knew him, you knew him on the wing. We won't use you to clean his cell. You know what I mean? We'll use a bit of tact. It's like, well, you're the cleaner. You go in there, mate. You know what I mean? And it's yeah, and that's a bit eerie. Um, there was an arsonist in Pentonville, right? Some old geezer, so like some little crinkly old geezer, right? And for whatever like for whatever reason, yeah, the meds that he had to take every day, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I was there. I see this geezer, mate. Yeah, whatever meds he was being given every day, he used to give him a raging boner. Yeah, raging hard on every single day. 24 hours a day, this geezer would be solid as a rock. Yeah, and people say, oh, that's not disgusting and all that. Yeah, well, wait till shower time and you've got to get in the shower and there's like some crinkly old man over in the corner with some crinkly old little Willie, mate, just standing to attention, mate, in rain or shine, sun, sleet, wind or rain, or he's there, just saluting the world, mate. That was disgusting. He used to put you off your. Imagine trying to eat a baguette after squeezing past him on the landing, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah, there was another geezer from Sudan, right? Another geezer from Sudan, and he literally only had a hole where his nose should be, and his lips had gone. So, but not just gone, like say like that much. So yeah, he had a massive hole. Like you got a hole where your mouth is, yeah, but it was unnaturally massive. So he had this little just hole where his nose should be, and he had two little nostril things sticking in his face, and a massive mouth. And he said it was from when he was in Sudan. He got bit by a mosquito, and the reaction from that was parts of him just melted away. Yeah, could have been true, could have been not. But I see people on the yard, yeah, and even not just on the yard, on the wing, like sharing roll ups with him, Like, listen, I'm not digging this geezer out. Probably true what he said happened to him. Yeah, he got bit by a mosquito, whatever in it. Yeah, but it might not. He could have had something. He could have had something. Yeah, why are you sharing? Like, well, even if it was just a mosquito, would you really want to share a roll up? Some people in prison are just got no standards. Like sharing a roll up with this geezer. There was he worked at Bix. He had to get he done a course at Bix. Yeah. Again, I worked at Bix. I was basically a teacher at Bix. Yeah, I used to teach the people how to clean and use a mop and how to hoover, all vital stuff. And once you go there, the screw, like the Bix screws, like they work at Bix. That's their jobs. It gives a little speech. One of them and be like, "Yeah, this is what we expect. This is the standards we expect." Blah 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 blah. He kept looking at this geezer. No hole. You look like. Do you know that film Hannibal? Yeah, the second one's Silence of the Lambs with the geezer that tries to feed Hannibal to the pigs. Got all that his face chewed up. Yeah, Gary Oldman. Right, got all his face chewed up. Yeah, that's what he looked like. Yeah, and he kept looking at me as he's talking. He went, "Listen, this is what the screw said, yeah." And he shouldn't have said it. It's bang out of order. He said, "Listen, you're making me sick. You get in front of everyone. Everyone's like half laughing. You try not to laugh, but it's out of order. But you know what I mean. You're not expecting an officer. You're not expecting anyone to say this to this geezer. You know what I mean. Regardless of what's happened to him, he's got no mouth and no nose, and he can't talk like properly. Man, you use your lips quite a lot. I'm using my lips now. When you're making me sick, you've either got to put a dust mask on or leave. Thing that killed it. This poor geezer put a dust mask on for 6 weeks. Every single day, just wore it. While the screw wouldn't let it. And we was like, mate, you can't say this. What we saying to the screw? I was like, you can't say that to him. Like, he went, why? He went, I'm in here, I'm teaching. I can't teach with him like that. He was like, he was an older Irish geezer, yeah, and he was safe, actually. I've mentioned him. I've never mentioned his name, but he was sweet. He was the officer every break time. When you was back in the day when you allowed to smoke, he'd come out with all the assessors, all the teachers, where we used to stand. None of us ever had to roll a burn or anything. Yeah, he'd always give us his Rizla, he'd give us his tobacco, we'd always roll it, and he'd always help you out. If you asked this geezer for a favour, he'd do it, yeah? He'd do it for like he chose you to be an assessor because he liked you, basically, yeah. So he'd always help you out, this geezer. But he was rude, mate. He was rude, and he couldn't see what he did wrong. It's like, mate, what you trying to do? You discriminating against this geezer, mate. Like, he's got something wrong with him, and you're making him cover it up because you're feeling sick. Because you're feeling sick. But it was bad. It was bad. Anyway, again, Sunday from now on, every Sunday. So tomorrow, the next video will be, it's going to be like a weekly rundown of any world prison news events that I come across. I'm going to give you my take on it. It'll just be my spin on them. I'll give you the source where I read it from or heard it from, and then I'll give you my spin on it. If you enjoyed that, hit the subscribe, and we'll chat tomorrow. Adios.